This is a simple system that you can use to read more every day without relying on motivation. Most people don't have a system, so it feels random and inconsistent. So like what they do is they try to rely on motivation. Like if they're not motivated to read that day, they don't read. Or reading feels like a lot of effort. Like they try to read a whole book at once, but they don't have a simple strategy in how to read when they don't feel motivated. This system has 4 simple parts. Number 1 is type of books to read. Number 2 is reading goals. Number 3 is a good setup that you can use. And then number 4 is a fast way to start when you don't feel motivated or don't want to read. Step 1 is you need to decide what you want to read before you sit down. So I'm going to give you 4 subjects that you can start with. You can add more subjects if you want, but let's start off with these 4. So number 1 is what I call mental strength book. So this is stuff like thinking, this is stuff like persuasion, communication, mindset, stuff like that. Things to improve your mental strength. The second type of book is finance or money books. So the third type of book is what I call internal strength. This is mostly stuff like healthy eating. So you have your healthy eating books. And the fourth type of book you can read is physical strength. So this is stuff like workout tips, stretching tips. So now that we have our 4 book subjects, let's go on to the next step. Step 2 is you want to set reading goals, because reading without a goal gives you low focus. So what you want to do is now you want to set goals for your reading. Let me give you some examples that you can start with. So let's say you start off with these 4 books every day. You wouldn't read all this every day, but you would read some of it. So this is what we can start off with. So since we have 4 books, maybe you could set a goal as, okay, I want to read 10 pages a day of each book. So you could say 40 pages. 40 pages a day. And then what you want is you can start off by timing yourself. How long does it take you to read 1 page? Or you could give yourself an estimate. So like let's say to read these 40 pages, let's say it will take you 60 minutes. So what you could do is before you start reading, you set a 60-minute timer. So 40 pages a day in 60 minutes or less, because you could finish it faster than that. And then what you also want to do is that's just the amount that you want to read. But just reading, but remember, just reading and taking notes doesn't really help you unless you actually apply and use the information that you learn. So what you could do is say, okay, so you have 4 books. Maybe you want to find one thing to apply from each book. So let's say 4 things to apply. One idea from each book, let's say. So now you can start off with this goal if you want. 40 pages a day in 60 minutes or less. And then the idea is 4 things to apply. And then 1 line from each book. Then when you track your habit progress, you can either write the amount of pages that you read, like 40 pages or 36 pages. But I think for tracking your habit progress, a better way to do it is writing the total amount of ideas that you can apply. So like from your notes, if you found 4 things that you can apply from your books, you write 4 things to apply. So let's say you read the 40 pages, 10 pages each, but one of the books you didn't learn something new, then just write 3 things to apply. So maybe these first 3 gave you something to apply, but the last book didn't give you something to apply. So when you're tracking your habit progress, just say 3 things to apply. I think that's a better way to tracking your habit progress, by writing the total amount of things that you can apply and then go applying it so it can actually help you. Step 3 is let's improve our reading setup. So for this, we're going to need 3 things. Number 1 is some noise cancellation headphones. Number 2 is some sort of book light or a lamp. And then number 3 is a pillow. So the idea is we're trying to make it easier to read and also more fun to read. So you can start off with this. So when you're reading, you can get your pillow, and then you can put your pillow on your lap. And then you get your book, and then you can just read it like this. It's a lot more comfortable with this pillow. Or you could have the book on your desk if you want. Either one works. Then the second item is you want to either use a lamp or some sort of book light. So any book light can work. Just figure out which one is most helpful for you. So you get your book light and you turn it on like that. And then you can read with this book light, because having lighting while you're reading helps put your focus on the pages. So this is a great way to improve your focus. And then the third item, you want to get some noise cancellation headphones. This is especially good if you're trying to read in a noisy environment. So if you have a lot of background noise, like people talking, the TV going by, cars going by, noise cancellation headphones will definitely help you. So you put them on before you start reading. It's like that. Like it's so much more quieter with this on. And then as a bonus, if you don't have this just yet, what you could do is simply just close your door. That helps a little bit, but noise cancellation headphones also help a lot. So those are 3 simple items you can use to make reading more fun and easier and more comfortable. And a lot of people like to listen to music while they're reading. I wouldn't really recommend that. Maybe if you want to, you can listen to music without words, but that's not really that necessary. It can still be distracting. Maybe you could get a white noise machine and listen to some nature sounds like rain sounds, wind sounds. That could also work. Just make sure you can focus and there's no distracting words, and make sure it doesn't distract you. So whatever you choose to listen to or not listen to, make sure you can actually focus with it. Step 4 is a fun way that you can start fast when you're procrastinating on reading. So for this is you're going to need something that can go from 1 through 10. So it could be like a dice, it could be like a calculator, it could be like a coin, you flip it. Heads, one line, tails 10 lines. So for this we're going to use a calculator. So what I'm going to do is, you say, okay, 1 through 9. So I'm going to pick a random number through here while closing my eyes. So let's start off by doing that. Okay, then you say, okay, I landed on 5. So then what you're going to do is you get your book, and then you're going to read 5 lines in the book as fast as you can. So you can either do it in your head or out loud. You see how fast that was? So I just read 5 lines in my head. Because the idea of this is it gives you a fun way so that you can get started fast. So you give yourself a very fast and simple goal. Read 1 through 10 lines. And you make it fun either with a dice, flipping a coin, or a calculator. And then after you read those 1 through 5 lines, you'll notice how much easier it is to keep reading. Why? Because you have momentum. Momentum is one of the most helpful things that you can use when starting and forming new habits. So try this method whenever you're procrastinating on reading to get started fast and use that momentum to help you keep reading. So let's recap the 4 steps so you know exactly what to do. So step 1 is pick the book that you want to read. Step 2 is you want to set a goal, like read 10 pages of this book and find one thing to apply. Step 3 is you want to improve your reading environment, like get some noise cancellation headphones, maybe get a reading light or lamp. Step 4 is you want to make it easy to start with. So you say calculator, pick a number, let's say 7, so read 7 lines, boom. So that starts your momentum. It makes it easier to keep going. Because remember, with starting and forming habits, momentum is your best friend. If you follow this system, reading becomes a lot more easier and you procrastinate a lot less on reading. So try it today and let me know in the comments below how it worked for you and what book you are currently reading.